Now, what if somebody's still working at age 70 and a half? Then how does that affect their RMDs differently?
Yeah, that's a good question, and that's an area where we see lots of problems. There is a special exception, as you just said, if you're still working for a company that you don't own. So it's not for self-employed people. That's one mistake. If you own more than 5% of the company, the exception does not apply to you. But let's say you're an employee at a company that you don't own. If you're still working there, you can delay that 70 and a half date until the year you retire. So if you retire at 80, it doesn't start till 80. But the exception, or the waiver, you might call it, from RMDs only applies to the 401k of the company you're still working for. It doesn't apply to your IRAs or other plans you may have. So from those accounts, let's say your IRA, there is no still working exception. You still have to pull that money out. So the exception only applies to that company's plan of the company you're still working for.
So if someone is still working, they have a plan, but the plan accepts rollovers from other 401ks, in theory, someone could roll money into that active 401k and avoid RMDs until they retire. Is that correct?
That's true. If the 401k allows rollovers in, they don't have to. This is one unusual area of the tax law. The tax law is rigid in many respects, but it happens to be liberal in this area. In other words, the plan rules can be much more rigid. They don't have to allow everything the IRA tax rules or the IRS tax rules allow. So what you just talked about, even the still working exception, the plan doesn't have to allow it just because the law allows it. So you have to know if your plan allows rollovers in the first place.